and welcome back to the Microsoft Build Digital 2020 experience. And now to something that has touched every person on the planet, the global pandemic. It has changed nearly every aspect of our lives, and those hit hardest are the first-line responders in healthcare. And I would like to welcome Amelie Dualis and Yuri Bedesh to tell us about a healthcare startup using Azure in their fight against COVID-19.
Thank you so much, folks, and a very warm welcome to you all from London. Amali here. Uti, an absolute pleasure to have you joining here. So Uti, the CEO of Data's Health. How are things going, Uti? I know, lots of things kind of currently going on with COVID-19. Where are you? How is everything going?
First, thank you for having me. It is a pleasure to be here. I'm currently speaking from Tel Aviv. And it's really, really hot over here, trying to manage the international operation from New York, Italy, and Kiev. I am at the moment in Tel Aviv.
Amazing, amazing. And you folks have had a busy few months, I think, isn't it? Even more busy than usual. Tell me a little bit about, I guess, your background. Tell me a little bit about Data's Health and what you folks do.
Yeah, sure. So we in Datos, we have developed a remote care platform, but what is unique about it is that we allow the healthcare organization to manage patients automatically. It's very relevant in the case of the COVID-19, where you would like to do home hospitalization for a very large population of patients in a very efficient manner. So our system allows health organizations to manage patients automatically and reduce the cost by doing so. You can think about it as we are the next step after Teladoc and American Well in the digital journey of the patient, meaning after the virtual visit ends, we start to take responsibility of the patients and manage the patients automatically with the chatbots, integration to wearables, video conferencing, and a lot of other tools that basically the system does automatically with the patient.
Super interesting. So I guess the last few months have really, I guess, pushed your company, pushed your product. And I know when we were chatting before, you mentioned, you've been implementing some of these programs really quickly, some of these client implementations. Tell me a little bit about what those months have looked like. How have you been, I guess, helping some of your clients? How have you been helping their patients, especially around that speed to getting execution? Or, what does that look like for you?
To be honest, when we developed the platform is geared into oncology and cardio, acute patients. I never imagined in my mind that a global pandemic will be the one of the the biggest use cases of the platform today. But let me take it a step back from the early days when we used the cloud services and the Kubernetes deployment method. It was clear for us that time to market is crucial. And when the pandemic started, we worked with our development partners and we put together a program for home hospitalization of positive COVID-19 patients. That program got acquired by the Israeli Ministry of Health, and now it's being deployed throughout all Israel positive COVID-19 patients. And since then, the ball started to roll, and we have implementations in the United States, in Italy, where we basically deployed a cloud-based platform for positive COVID-19 patients in a matter of a day. We can, put the platform up and running and to start deploying patients very rapidly. Today we have tens of thousands of patients already on the platform, but the stuff is going down, of course, as you can see from the pandemic. We have closed in the last couple of months more deals than we have closed in the last 12 or even 18 months. So it was a real good hectic period for us.
Yeah, and what an incredible sort of test of your product, and I guess test of your team, test of your ability to roll this out at speed. And when we're talking about healthcare, and especially at this moment in time, this is such an important thing. We're talking about people's lives and helping them and supporting them, in their homes when they don't necessarily have access, and especially with social distancing. How did that, I guess, impact your engineering teams? What did they need to do when they were rolling these things out? How did they support your customers? How did you kind of approach that challenge?
So that's actually a very interesting story. Again, I had no clue that the pandemic will come, and basically prior to the pandemic, we were working 2 days a week on a regular basis, 2 days a week from home. So the transition to home was, transparent, was, smooth, and everybody went home and worked from home with 150% utilization, pretty much. And what I found out, I don't know about other CEOs, but the capacity and the utilization of my team at home was much higher than it was during the regular office times, and I started to worry about friction, and people are not getting enough rest. And we basically worked 24/7 since it started. So it was a big challenge around that. Everything else with regards to the development processes, the continuous development, continuous integration, that was already in place, and that actually what saved us, because we work rigidly on the continuous integration and continuous development, and we just managed to release features like every day to the market, and we basically support the one of the most important things, which is the time to market to the pandemic, and things has to be adjusted all the time, in the sense of that we've developed our platform for people in acute care and people that they're going to opt in to our service. Suddenly, we need to support everybody. It's not an option. It's not that you can opt in or opt out. You have to use the platform, even though if you're not that tech savvy and your smartphone, you never download an app in your life using your smartphone. So that was a big challenge from a business perspective, from a functionality perspective. And then we had to take it all the way to the development and to the drawing board, and to understand how to support the entire population and not just a specific group of patients. And as I mentioned before, we started we released features on almost on a daily basis, and the customers were amazed. And if I may, I just would like to add one thing. And I know that we're short of time, but I'm coming from the digital health space. And in digital health, in the past 10 years or so, since the iPhone or since the smartphone, everybody said this is the era of digital health. This is the year where digital health will break and will be everywhere. And every year we waited and waited and waited. And all of a sudden, that COVID-19 started, and all the bridges were open, and things that we wanted to do for years, all of a sudden it takes me a week to deploy, and we saw such a tremendous all the bureaucracy and the decision-making process and the sales cycle. We all of a sudden started to implement everything that we wanted to implement, and everything that the analysts said that it should be implemented. And it's a beautiful period for us. I only hope that it will remain, and we're not going back to the long sales cycles and bureaucracy and all of that, because it is important for the patients to deploy such technologies.
And like you said, I think it forced many of us, all of us, to kind of look at those barriers to implementation and really think about, look, if people's lives are quite literally on the line here, what do you need to do to make sure that you're getting the right products, services, the right tools to help people through those really difficult circumstances? And I guess thinking about your business, and it was interesting to hear you mention there, that you had obviously been thinking about agility as your business from the start anyway. What role has, I guess, being a cloud-based business, had on that? And how has that, I guess, validated your business model, but also what might have been some of the challenges that you overcame to kind of, really look at that being done in a pushed environment?
So to be honest, and I think not like other companies, we've started with the understanding that every health organization will require a separate cloud instance. So we didn't go to the multi-tenant environment from day one. And actually, we tried on-premise implementation. It was like a couple of years ago. Organizations still, were reluctant to move to the cloud. So they do have the data to understand and to show what's the difference between on-prem and cloud implementation. And today, when a customer basically comes to us and say, I don't like to go, I don't like my health data to be at the cloud, I need it to be on-prem, I'm telling them literally, look, it's going to be between 10 and 50 times more expensive for you to deploy our platform in on-prem. Not to mention that it will probably take, instead of a couple of days, it probably will take a half a year to do the implementation. So the cloud actually is a huge enabler for us in the sense of the time to market, in the sense of the support that we can provide to our customers, the deployment. There is no downtime. There is no, because of the microservice, we can deploy specific microservices to specific environments. And yet, what is more important for me to mention, that we are a product company. It sounds strange. Every customer basically have their own private cloud deployment, but it's still one version of the code, and the cloud infrastructure actually allows us to maintain that product, to be a product company, and not to go down the path of extensions and one-off implementations, because it's very slippery slope. Customers all the time going to ask me for specific development, but with our cloud implementation, we managed to do that very efficiently and still maintain one single branch of the code.
That's really amazing to hear. And I guess, thinking about that implementation, thinking about, developing at speed, are there any particular things that you think, what have been the lessons, I guess, for you as a business leader, for your engineering teams? What are the kind of things that you found that, actually have been such a benefit beyond, obviously, the cloud, but thinking about maybe your business structure? What are the things that you might take forward after the current situation?
Oh my God, for me it's a complete new era, and I think that I'm doubling down on agility and humble. And I think that any CEO in my position, you know what? Let me give you an example. When the pandemic started and we closed all these deals, our management team, we thought this is it. We are rolling now. And all of a sudden, you start to understand and realize that, well, yes, hospitals do need our program and our support right now, and it's very urgent for them. But people are not coming to the hospitals anymore because of the COVID-19. The entire revenue stream of the hospital is going down because people are not coming to the hospitals, and those are our main customers. And if my customers will not have the budget next year to increase their IT budget line, we're going to be in a serious issue. So from the moment of hey, I'm on top of the roof and I'm doing great and this is it, the entire digital health industry is now going on top of the roof. We went from that situation to, okay, this is not the case. How are we going to handle that? And we do need to change our business model. And today, I can say that although that we see a very high demand for solutions like Dados, we did change our business model. We went more into the PMPM, per member per month, meaning more variable charge of our solutions. And actually it means more into the cloud, meaning more variable is, in my mind, is more into cloud services. And so yes, the entire perspective of the companies has changed. Not everything is for the good. And when I'm saying to be humble, meaning that don't think that you figured everything out. You will find a lot of things that's going to surprise you, especially in these days. Nobody knows how the future is going to look like. I can tell you from my experience, I'm speaking with a lot of health organizations, and we're trying to understand, or employers trying to understand how we're going to go back to norm. Nobody knows.
Thanks, Suri. Thank you so much. And really, really pleasure speaking to you. We're wrapping up our session now and back to the studio there.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you both so much for sharing that incredibly inspiring story. If you have experiences like Jados, continue sharing online with the hashtag #BuildForGood. It's great to see and celebrate all the developers are doing to help the world during these uncertain times. Next up, we're throwing it back to Asim after a short break.